How many of you have animals that you'd like to communicate with? Okay, well, you put that down on your list. We can communicate with animals. When we open up to this other side, this other spirit world, there's so much more we can do with our life. We find out we have all the help. Imagine that before you came into this life, you're up there in heaven, and you're surrounded by loved ones, people that you've been with many times, and you're deciding you want another physical life. You want to learn a little bit more. So you tell your friends, I'm going to have another physical life. And they're like, okay, good luck. You go right ahead. We'll sit here on the other side. So you have like this whole team that's kind of your supporters in spirit. And when you do something really nice for yourself, they're like, oh, that's wonderful. They're so happy. They love that physical joy. And we don't do that enough. We think we're selfish doing that. How many of you have ever taken pictures of spirit orbs? Do you know what those are? That's when you photograph, you get like a little ball of light and it's actually a spirit. And they come around when you're happy, right? They come around at weddings and fun times, right? That's because they love to be around when you're all happy. Yeah. There's a man in spirit comes around you when you take your photographs and you recognize him, you actually see him in your photographs, right? Spirits come around when we're very happy. And it's like, they like to be with us when we're that feeling joy. So we go out and we buy a nice outfit and we say, oh, I really look good, I really like that. And then we get home and we go, oh, maybe that was too much money, maybe I should take it back. And then our spirit's like, oh, please, you know. So we have to think more that it's not just us, we've got this whole team, and to do some things, and we're not being selfish, to bring a lot more joy and happiness in our life. And you think right now, from now on, you're going to do something every single day for yourself. And it doesn't have to be expensive. It could just be, having coffee with a friend or having a little quiet moment to yourself. Treat yourself. When you're walking around this show, don't be going, oh no, I can't afford that. No, I'd love to have that, but no, that's not for me, right? Remember, you've got a whole team of guides up there that are going, please, please, that is for us, because that's going to make you really happy. We have a lot more guides and helpers than we know that we have if we just open up and allow. And the abundance is there, and we can just say that I'd like to have these wonderful things in my life. We're here to have a joyful, happy life. And we're here to have abundance in our lives so that we can do the things we want to do. We can have the experiences we want to do. So if you need a little bit more abundance in your life, go ahead, put that down on your list too. Abundance to have the beautiful things you'd like to do, to experience spirituality, to travel, to take a trip with Gail to see John of God. Go ahead, put that down on your list. We're going to ask the spirits to help us with financial abundance, to live a beautiful and joyful life. So how do we have all these problems in our life? We're supposed to be here to have a beautiful, joyful life. How do we have these emotional stresses, these problems that go on? What about physical illness? Well, some of that physical illness comes over in karma. Some of it is attached to emotions that we have. So as we're up there in heaven, we say, okay, I'd like to have a few major experiences, some very good ones, some highlights I'd like to have, but I need also to learn a few things. So I'd like to learn self-love. I didn't really experience that very well. Maybe a little bit more financial stress, problems with my mother-in-law, and we set these things up, right? So self-love, we're born, we're baby, we have this beautiful aura, and out there on our karma somewhere is this self-love stuff hanging there that we're going to experience and teach ourselves. And we don't notice. Years go by, we don't notice. And then we grow up, and we get in our 20s. And then we meet our soulmate. And we fall madly in love. We look in their eyes. This person is amazing. Yes, they're your soulmate. You've known them before. Could be wonderful, but it could be also somebody that can get deep under your skin and push your buttons. So we're trying to do self-love, so along comes our soulmate. We fall madly in love, we're having a great time, and then things start turning bad, and we start arguing, and we stress about it, and that energy comes closer and closer and closer. And this self-love that we teach ourselves is coming closer and closer. And if we're not getting it, it can come all the way in until we eventually manifest it into something physical. If it's relationships, it's going to sit right here. This is our sacral chakra, so this is where all your relationship stuff happens. So when you look back through your life and you look about your relationships that you've had, things that your parents said to you younger, stuff that happened to you on the school playground, just to meet your teachers, or these love relationships. When you look back at these love relationships that went bad, do you go, yeah, that person was a real jerk, and they did this, this, and this, but you know what? I taught myself love, I stood up for myself, I released it with love and light, they gave me that opportunity, and I have grown spiritually, and I feel great compassion for them. Do you do that? Oh, you guys are angels if you do that. No, we don't. We look back and we go, I can't believe that guy did that. I can't believe that person said that. That was really mean. And 20 years later, 30 years later, we still have that irk. Well, you know that if 20 years later you're still thinking with that same kind of emotion about what somebody said in passing, you know that energy is still in your aura. And we collect this stuff. We collect our triggers, and they sit in our energy. And sometimes they could sit there for a while and be fine until somebody else presses that same trigger, right? Do you have triggers? Can you think of any triggers? I'm sure you can all think of triggers, because this is part of life. We go through life and we collect these experiences, positive and negative, and we collect a lot of energy and triggers. These things, though, if we leave them to fester and they're still bothering us years and years later, they can actually manifest into something physical.